The Six Nations Development Corporation has a call out for applications for 3 different boards that will be formed with respect to the Development Corporation. This call will close on February 27th. These boards will have the responsibility for overseeing the funding we will be generating from the various projects we have entered into, and they will also be responsible for how that funding will be distributed in the community. We are encouraging community members to seriously consider applying, as we need a total of 15 people with 5 on each of the 3 boards. If you want more information on the Development Corporation, you can call Nicole, Amy, or Matt at the Economic Development Office. Youth and Elder Center, we had the groundbreaking for our Youth and Elder Center on last Friday, February 6th, and we hope that by this time next year we know that we will be close to holding the grand opening of that youth center. It will be an excellent venue for our youth and our elders, and I can't wait until it is open. It will include a large gymnasium in addition to space for the elders and the youth to hang out and call their own. I'm encouraging them to come forward with ideas on programming, and also to get involved in establishing rules and how that center will be looked after once it is established, because if they take some ownership to it, then we can ensure that it's going to be well looked after. I want to talk a bit about the fire department. We know that the Six Nations Fire Department is underfunded and relies on an outdated federal funding policy. Despite that, they do their best to provide a safe level of emergency service within our community. They have a call volume of about 750 to 800 calls per year. This does constitute additional funding to be comparable to surrounding municipalities with the same population and infrastructure. This would mean that we would need a full-time department with applicable wages, proper equipment, aerial trucks, search and rescue units, etc. The resources that we get are just not there for us to have the fire department that we need, and we know that. Unlike the surrounding municipalities who rely on their tax base to help fund their fire department, we do not have that source of funding because we do not rely on a tax base, because we do not and will not tax our people. The fire department does utilize a mutual aid agreement whereby they can call in the surrounding fire departments in Brantton, Norfolk if they need them. They also assist when there are additional fire personnel required in those municipalities. The Six Nations Fire Department is also suffering from low fire personnel and are continuing to make efforts for additional recruitment. As I said, the department does work very hard, and we are very proud of their accomplishments. We will continue to support them and will continue to seek additional resources. It was also suggested to me that maybe we should look at our own fundraising initiatives to help raise dollars for the fire department. I know that in some cities I've seen firemen walking around with their boots and asking for donations. So we need to put our heads together to come up with some fundraising initiatives. We have also alerted the Community Trust that providing funding for the fire department is a priority for us, and we encourage them to look at that. We will also be looking to the newly developed Development Corporation to make fire services a priority once they start receiving and allocating funding. Safety is always first and foremost within the Six Nations Fire Department, whether it be on calls or their daily duties, and the Six Nations Elected Council continues to support them and will continue to look for those additional resources that are needed. The New Directions Group has asked me to make an announcement about a program they are putting on CKRZ. In an effort to deliver substance-related information to our community on a broader scale, they have started a weekly radio program named Faces of Addiction, which will be held Wednesday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m. on CKRZ 100.3 FM. Their goal is to share substance use, misuse information, and the many ways lives are affected. They will be engaging professionals from within the community and surrounding community to speak on specific topics. For example, a pharmacist will speak about prescription drugs and the side effects of certain drugs, interactions, and the prescription drugs which have the highest potential for creating an addiction. There will also be an opportunity to hear community members' definitions, comments, and feedbacks on the show as it progresses. The program will have unique twists and turns, so we do encourage people to stay tuned. On January 31st, we held our press launch for the Six Nations activities related to the Pan Am Games. This was a well-attended event with several press present. We had the opportunity to let the community know about some of the activities that we have planned for this summer when the Pan Am Games will be held in Toronto. We will be holding festivals and cultural events and providing opportunities for our arts and crafts people to sell their crafts. We are also hoping to attract some teams to Six Nations to use our venues as practice sessions. We also heard from 2 young athletes who we are sure will be athletes participating in the Games. We have Carrie Lee Thomas, who is vying for the women's softball team, and Cher Obadiah, who is 3rd nationally as a boxer. Santi Smith of the Kahawi Dance Theatre also spoke about her involvement with the Games. It will be an exciting time for us this summer, and I hope to get Kevin Sandy, our Pan Am coordinator, to present a special report on how Six Nations will be involved in the Games. I want to talk now about HydroOne. My office has been inundated with calls from community members about their hydro bills, and I want to thank my assistant Arlene Miracle, who has been dealing with these calls and meeting with community members. We have finally arranged for HydroOne officials to be in the community for a community meeting on Tuesday, February 17th from 10 a.m. to noon. This meeting will be held at the Community Hall in Ohsweken and will be an opportunity for community members to question HydroOne officials about the delivery and installation charges and any other questions you have generally about HydroOne bills. They will also hold one-on-one meetings with community members who wish to privately discuss their hydro bills. Those one-on-one sessions will begin on Monday, March 2nd and will run from 10 to 4 every Monday until everyone has been met. If you wish to have a one-on-one session, please contact Arlene Miracle at 519-445-2201 to schedule a session with HydroOne. I just returned from Thunder Bay. I was at a 3-day event about missing and murdered Indigenous women. And I was pleased to attend that meeting. It was organized on our behalf by the First Nations Women's Caucus, and Sandy Montour from Ganokrisha is Six Nations representative on that Women's Caucus. And we also took 3 families who have lost their loved ones to attend that session in Thunder Bay. And it was to talk about, do we want our own inquiry, or what do we want to do about moving this, bringing this issue, to the forefront so that we can do more stuff in our community to help prevent violence against women and men. Because we also, it shouldn't only be missing and murdered Indigenous women, but it should also be men. One of the things that is happening is that there will be a vigil in Veterans Park on Sunday, February 15th at 3 p.m., and we encourage people to attend that. The session in Thunder Bay, as I said, it was an excellent session, and our families had a chance to tell their story while Justin Trudeau, who is the leader of the federal Liberals and could possibly be the next Prime Minister, he was present. And I know that when our ladies told their stories, that they brought him to tears, because it was a very draining and emotional experience, and those families still really need our support, and we really need to do stuff in our community, as I said, not only to heighten the awareness of that, but to overall to prevent violence in our community. And that's one of the things I really made a commitment to these ladies to work with them on. And we're going to have another meeting in a few weeks and come up with some plans as to what we can do in our community. And once those plans are more in place, then we'll certainly let the community know.